It's Friday? It's not Friday.
Ready now?
Yes, sir.
This is the second meeting of the Town and Village of New Paltz Comprehensive Planning Oversight Committee. I don't know if that's our official title, but I think it works.
It is now. As of this moment, it is it.
I'm the chair, Tom Rocco. I'm representing the village board. To my immediate right, I think that's correct,
Yes.
is Ariane Bosco, who is also representing the village board. And I don't know if you can see the backs or the fronts of Dan Torres and
Thank you very much.
Jeff Logan, who are both representatives of the town board. Our planner is not here yet. But we will begin our discussion amongst the four of us to assure that we are all on the same page for the continuance and advancement of the planning process. One thing that we distributed during this past week was the Pace University guide for community leaders for comprehensive planning. And while I don't mean to cover that, I just want to make sure that you've got it,
Yep.
that you understand it, and that it is in fact going to assist you as a guide to comprehensive planning. So, is there any response? I know Jeff said already that he was pleased with its brevity and pointedness. And I am too.
Yes.
And,
No, yeah, I appreciate you sending that out as well. It's a good resource.
Definitely,
Fine.
yes.
All right.
No, we're good. No,
Concur.
yeah, no, we're good with it.
All right. The second item that I've printed for you, and that I had hoped we would have a chance to cover, because Kurt has all of the material from the 2010, 2011 Master Plan Review Task Force, of which this document was one of three formal presentations to the village board only. And it lays out the 19 recommendations that our committee made that we hoped would guide comprehensive planning in the future. Many of these were derived from the prior comprehensive plan or plans, but in particular the 1994 plan. And then others were derived from the survey that was done and that we discussed last time as a not statistically scientific survey, but one that was the best that we thought we could do with the resources that we had available, which resources amounted to the members of the committee, with no technical or other support. So these 19 recommendations, I'm sure you will, you'll recognize many of them. Mm-hmm. The question is, are they in fact still guiding objectives for us? Do these guide us in formulating a plan, a planful direction for our next 5 to 10 years for both? Now this is for the village. It was originally conceived of for the village, but obviously there are factors in here that would be applicable to both the town and the village.
Well, interesting, you got the Dave Clauser presentation last night, so it's interesting back in 2010 that you saw the need for assure that the village will have sufficient fresh water available for the indefinite future, which is interesting choice of words, but yes, for the future, for the future for a population. I think 7,000 we can all picture is as you had pointed out, a number that will not remain static. That will continue to grow and whatever. So, I mean, I think Dave Clauser, you saw his presentation last night to you. I think that absolutely we're going to have to plan for it. I think Dave made it very clear that water is going to continue to be an issue, and we're better off to take over our own water sources than to be beholden to an agency.
And a number of these points, I would say, are obviously this is for the village, but certainly are goals of the town as well. And a number of things we're currently both striving for, specifically looking at discussion of bike lanes, and of course reducing our carbon footprint is something that we talk about on almost every meeting.
Well, I thought we were also forward thinking in that we were projecting joint planning
Yes, absolutely. That's there too.
well in advance of any effort to undertake joint planning. We were convinced that it was necessary to reduce confusion in development along the edges of the town and village.
Right.
And where we were sure there would be more development that is on those fringe areas where it's the town has space, the village has infrastructure, but they don't connect to the spaces that the town has for development.
And I think we discussed this too, is fortunately, the space the town has is now a very restricted space. There's no easy lots any longer that you just put a bulldozer on it, you make it flat, and you put up a house. Those lands are long gone. So now we're into sensitive spaces, and it's getting much more difficult to develop those. So I think the ones that where you speak about developing resources, I think are ones that we need to discuss more as a town too. And I think, Tom, you hit a lot of these, which are, like I said, it's kind of interesting that even 4 years ago, I also liked, I don't know if you guys read it, the number 18, which I found very interesting because they were at the point they were new Ridgeview apartments and a college residential development.
Right.
It was just being envisioned then. It was in its infancy then. Yes. Yeah.
I can actually tell you what factual information that was based on. Although we did have conversations with the assistant vice president for plant and I'm not sure what his exact title.
Facilities and plants or whatever it is. Something.
Like the campus master plan.
Master plan. So we had some inkling of likely development, but I don't think we knew about Wilmerite at this
In
point.
2010, I think we did.
I had meetings with Mike Moriello and some Wilmerite representatives, and at that point, though, it was still being proposed as a PUD.
Right.
As a planned urban development, and
Yeah.
there was still some possibility that it may tie into the village, and we even were somewhat talking maybe this could be a village project, not a town project, but then they pulled the planned urban development project. They decided that was not the route they wanted to go,
Right.
and they moved off to another route.
And I don't remember if I think that was right before they went through the scoping process.
Yes, that was prior to scoping.
Yeah, I think it was spring of 2011 that they had officially.
That would sound about right, yeah. Yeah, because in 2010 we were just starting to talk about what it might be. So.
But
But
could
yeah,
we say
so-
that there was any planning that was in advance of the Wilmerite proposal?
We will use Dan's famous lines, and I'll even let Dan do it.
But I think as a community, we should be more proactive for development opposed to reactive to or reactionary to development we do not like.
Right.
And that's true, and that's why we got to get this done, darn it.
There we go.
Yeah, that's it. Why we got to get it done.
And on the note of the college, I had spoken with Shelley Wright yesterday morning, and she said that I talked to her about the college getting involved in this, and I guess she was not aware. She had been made aware that we want their involvement, but she had not been made aware that this was the next meeting. So I told her that at this meeting, I'm sure we'll set the next meeting date, and I will include her in the minutes. Because she received the minutes from our last meeting.
Great.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Yeah, and then they said
And they
it was
plan
their
on
hope
sending
that they
over
would
the-
like to, be involved.
Well, that would be great.
That would be great.
Yeah, she wasn't sure exactly what we wanted them to do as involvement, but I said, well, if we're planning something community-wide, you are part of the community and you are an entity, and so we wanted you at the table.
Well, I think that the current involvement of the college with the noise ordinance people has been extremely helpful,
Right.
very useful. And the communication that both Ellen and I have had with personnel in other SUNY towns has indicated that there is a considerable amount of interaction between the administration, at least, of the institution and the town or village administration
Okay. Good.
and the police. So
Right.
I would like there to be significant college input into whatever we're planning.
Right.
And as I believe you at some point said, that it would be very helpful if some representative or representatives of the village were also
Included in
included
there,
in
yeah.
this.
Well, especially with Startup New York, and I don't really know what's going to come of it. Maybe we'll share our comments then with you guys. I don't know if the town. I know I spoke with Carol, and she said that you were getting something together, but
Didn't we submit our comments?
We submitted comments, yeah.
we did.
we submitted comments as well. But I think, you know, part of what we said is that we would like, if there's some advisory committee that they, you know, they
You get a
talked
seat at
about
the table.
that, yeah, that we both get a seat at the table. I listed both village and town, saying that I think that's an important piece of it. So, and if we're looking at our community planning in places that we'd like to have industry develop, and they're looking at off-campus locations that have industrial development, then we should definitely identify those places together.
Good.
Absolutely.
Well, is number 13, which is formulated from a village point of view, plus is that how would we rephrase that to make it sensible for a town and village? Foster more affordable housing and greater density. Not that the two are always together, because you can have greater density of not that which is called officially affordable housing, but just any housing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could have affordable housing, but more affordable housing. It says here in the R2, R3, and B3 zoning districts. Is that meaning less to the town?
Bring in Rubco. This is a great time. Probably one of our great resources would probably be to contact Rubco. And the biggest problem is with density is, and to Ariana's point, is if we're going to do density, it's almost like the land in the town needs to become part, and this is just a personal opinion now, but would need to become part of the village. And
I'm
then
sorry, what would we become? If we were to do like a...
if we wanted to have greater density in an area, it would almost be better served to be in the village where the services are.
Yeah, and there was... from like
And I could be completely wrong on that. I'm just
No, and there's been
spitball.
talk for quite some time, and I have the book right here to back that up, about the idea of doing just that and then expanding the village lines to incorporate that kind of density as well within the town.
So I think Tom actually made an interesting point now, and then we need to speak to someone like Kurt could guide us probably, and then we might even need to talk to a attorney, in zoning. But we create zoning in the town, keeping in mind that possibly that land could then end up in the village. Right, and I think that's kind of more what I want to see, is that we would be expanding, making areas that are left for development.
Which I think also ties into another point we had here too. I'm trying to find the number. The idea of keeping the density within the village and making the town...
Yes, there is. It's much earlier.
Yeah, I'm
I
trying
think it's
to
number
find
5.
Number 5.
Yeah.
The heart of it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So...
And part of that is, like I said, that's the standard of design, and I think it's some of the confusion with developers too, is are they supposed to develop street side, are they supposed to develop offset, how do you get the most parking? That's a big issue too.
Yeah.
You still have people developing, there's a few lots even left in Lower Main Street that need to be developed, and what do you want them to look like?
Sure.
Yeah. What do we want Main Street to look like, because it's going to change the character.
Well, Main Street actually should be one of the keys for development. One of the recommendations is that we get a Main Street grant, if you can get one, but they used to be available. And there's a lot that can be done to make our Main Street more attractive and more functional.
And I also think specifically looking to the future too, because there are, and I'm thinking of that property specifically at Water Street, for example, where if someone were to purchase that land and develop that, you know, what do you want that kind of thing?
Oh, at
to
the
do?
corner of Water and Main.
Yeah.
Of a blueberry patch.
Yeah.
Blueberry
The
patch?
blueberry patch,
Sure, I
there you
like
go.
that.
Yeah, there you go.
Place.
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
Oh, really?
Well, John and Amy call it.
I know they do.
Yeah, so-
Okay.
So they
I thought
wanna
it was
call
wrong
it-
phrase.
No, I didn't make that up. Yeah, but I mean, wouldn't it be interesting to think about that piece of property? Like,
Exactly.
say something large goes in
Yeah.
there, that then all the views from Water Street that, you know, you sit out back of the mud puddle and look at that, it's gone.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, view shed is one of the issues that will come up in any development.
And one of the
Absolutely.
one of these I remember reading in here. One of these is also the where do people want development, and we do have all those maps, and Kurt has all those from the 2011, 2012 plan or 2010, 2011 plan from the town.
Oh, yeah.
The one that we've never adopted.
Yeah.
We've never. It's still in a draft form. All those maps we do have. So, and we can redo them too. I mean, the community
Yeah.
has changed a little, but we do have all those maps of where people would like to see development, and all the maps that we did all included people maintaining the view sheds.
Yeah.
All of them.
And I remember, I mean, I was at that, and I remember where, you know, we marked up these
Yeah,
maps.
let's stuff little
and then
stickers on
everyone
top,
got
yeah.
up there and presented their map. And it was almost like everyone's map was almost exactly the same.
And very diverse groups, if you remember. Because I went to
Right.
the one at Bosse's was very diverse. The SUNY New Paltz, we had one. very
Yeah, I was
diverse.
at the one at SUNY.
We
yeah.
had one up in back in the community center. All very, very different groups, and they all end up matching up pretty much the same.
Yeah, and even like the priorities, you know, there was supposed to be like 3 major priorities that you chose out of all your marking, and you know there might have been 4 major priorities, but it was like, you know, preserve open spaces, build sidewalks and bike lanes, and like, you know,
Water, sewer, and
Yeah.
traffic.
yeah.
They're always the same. They're always,
It's all the exact same things, but people, and, you know, people mark the same areas for a lot of it also. So, you know, I think like doing something like that where people break up into groups and mark up maps is like a great thing for, you know, whatever community
Do we
has.
have all those data?
Those are in. Yeah, we have those all in. We still have those all at town hall. And in fact, I tried to find the extra disc because I owe Dan a disc, and I got to find the extra. They would only provide us with one. Many problems with our last master plan company, based out of Rochester, New York.
Interesting.
Very.
We're going very soon.
There you go.
Everything good comes out of Rochester.
There you go. All right, great universities up there.
There's a couple of good
Great
Yeah,
university.
yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Absolutely.
yes. Anyway, we have multiple disc copies. My computer would not allow me to copy it, so we believe there are multiple discs around, and we might need some assistance in copying them. But there's one paper copy, which is in Susan's office. It's a bomb, but the maps, we actually have the maps though too and stuff.
Oh,
They got to be located though. There are actual maps that were.
that would be really
saved.
cool to look at.
So this would be a strong recommend to Kurt also. Or,
Find out.
where if he doesn't have access, we need to get him access.
I mean, he's been to
If
town
he has
hall.
access.
I spoke to Carol. He's been accessing tons of stuff at town hall.
Okay.
He's been pulling out files. He has been going through. In fact, he was just there the other day for quite a few hours. He was there 6 or so hours. Tuesday, Wednesday, and he was just there for a long period of time, going through the draft form of our master plan.
Okay.
So yeah, and I know, and she said she helped him pull some stuff out of storage even.
Because this, what I'm hearing, could be very interesting. If you had a significant amount of agreement, even to what you could call consensus, in 3 or 4 major objectives, then from an objectives point of view, you have perhaps one of the best points of departure that you could ask for. If the data are valid, that is, if we know that we had valid collection of input from all these different people in different groups,
Yeah.
maybe, you know, objectives 1, 2, 3, 4 give us our point of departure.
Okay.
Oh, and one thing that we should note is that this number 17, implement these salient recommendations of the B3 district zoning. We have done those. They were adopted, am I not right?
Which,
The
17? Oh, yeah.
That was North Chestnut, right?
North Chestnut.
Yep.
Yeah. So we don't need that as an objective, although I would say essentially nothing has changed, right? You could not see a single change on North Chestnut.
Nothing has changed as of yet, no. Well, I think no new businesses or new buildings
Right.
have been,
But there is one in process.
there's,
For the annexation.
the annexation.
The
yeah,
annexation,
that
which we
potential
haven't done yet,
property.
so that would be taking, I don't want to say it, but that would be
Yeah.
utilizing part of the B3, because part of the land is village, part of it is
Right.
town, and there's a
And if we
parcel.
were to annex that parcel, then it would become part of the B3.
The B3.
zoning, yeah.
Well, I would like to see a planful approach to
Yeah.
that development. We have what I think is one of the best planning documents that I've seen, including design standards. And we've now said, okay, let's go ahead with this. And like, we don't have a manager or somebody whose job it is
Right.
to make this happen. And we don't have, to my knowledge, any coordination yet between the town and the village.
Right.
Because as we approach the town along 32 North, we're going to be looking to have businesses that affect both.
Mhm.
And there's no collaboration yet. To my knowledge, we're not doing anything. So
Yeah.
I would say this is, in spite of the fact that it's already been approved, it ought to still be included in the planning because we want to implement this.
Yeah, 'cause-
Absolutely.
Yeah, because there's lands on that B3 district that are ripe for, well, there's tear downs. There's a lot of tear downs on that road.
There are a number that are for sure.
Yeah,
That could-
and you could actually utilize it for much better uses. I mean,
Yeah.
Henry W. Du Bois, Henry W. Du Bois being turned into a traffic circle
Right. Well, that's
I mean,
the
that-
stuff that's in the land use
in
study.
the land use study. Yeah, the land use and their TIP. It's in one.
It's the transportation
Yeah.
and land use study.
Yeah, that's-
It's
yeah,
both.
yeah.
And that's what the TIC's
Yep.
job is. But so I think what is totally not proposed, but going to be proposed for the property that is going to be annexed is part of what has been laid out in that plan.
Good.
Which if that's what is going in there, then I'm certainly not opposed. But I think us looking at plans, maybe even together, would be a good.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we need to sidewalk the whole piece too, and
That's
all that.
part of it, yeah.
And, yeah, sidewalk.
So we've got our 19 suggestions here. What are we looking to take from these at this point right now?
And do you want to give us any homework, or should we be creating our own homework from this?
Well, I think what we need to do is prioritize. I mean, we have 19. So are they still, as they're formulated, are they still valid
Are
recommendations?
these in any order, by the way?
The top three were the top three.
Okay.
So that was the order. The numbers 1, 2, and 3 were separately recommended in a document that said, here are our top 3 recommendations. Water, sewer, and comprehensive planning.
I think still are. topic. And Dan, by the way, you mentioned putting utilities in the ground. The last time they repaved Main Street, that actually was proposed. There was a time they actually dug it up. I'm going to say 80s. I could be wrong on that.
Your dad was probably around.
My dad was part of that, and they tried to do it, and no one wanted to pay for all of it. We actually had the opportunity to bury all utilities on Main Street. How nice would have that been?
Wow.
Because they dug up all of Main Street back. My dad was part of it, and no one could come up with the funding. But it's because they actually tore up all. I mean, Main Street was literally,
It's too bad.
it needed to be resurfaced, so they had to dig over. That's when they tore out most of the tracks. they were removing,
I could see some of them are exposed.
they
on
still
there.
have some tracks that weren't, but they actually went down and took out all of the tracks along the way. There, you can still see them down by Main and Chestnut.
Yeah, I biked over them today, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and there
Yeah,
used to be
check it
some
out.
that would peek up around Plattekill. I don't know if they still peek up once in a while. There used to be some on the end of Plattekill and Main that would
Yeah.
sneak out every so
I
often.
thought we should turn the UCAT into a throwback trolley looking thing. That's totally
Make it look like a trolley. Yeah.
There you go.
Come to CIC.
Yeah, we-
So I
Is that still a? Because I've heard some people say, don't bury it, don't bury it.
I've
Because
never
every
heard
time
that.
something goes wrong, then you have to dig
Dig
the
it
street
out. Yeah.
well,
But,
yes and no. Yeah, I mean no, because if you use the correct technology, I mean look at New York City.
I understand.
It's very rare that you see them dig for utilities except for steam. Steam you'll see them dig, and water.
Right.
I mean water, but electric, it's very unheard of to dig for electric. If you look at any of the reports, because you put them through tunnels and you just pull them.
And I don't have any stats
Yeah.
to back this up, but from the conversation I have had with people, is it's also a safety issue as well. And if you just think about the idea of car accidents going into the poles and things like that, and not only just that factor, but also the factor of how many of them are damaged from those events too, that you're now not going to have any people
Yes.
underground.
Right.
I don't know what the numbers are, but I have been
Trees falling in
told
storms.
that it is safer and more cost effective, but I have no,
No, you are. If you go on, there's a ton of stuff. If you go online and look at it.
But this is
and-
one of the things that the planner would have to help us with.
Yeah.
We'd have to come up with the data points to support any of these objectives. But that was one that must be a lot of people thought had some import.
It does.
It wound up in an
And it
expensive-
does affect your view shed, so
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
I mean,
For
would
sure.
it would make Main Street, and it would also frees up space. It would free up a lot of sidewalk space.
It would.
Yeah, you're right.
it would-
You don't realize how much
Yeah.
real estate is given to a pole, but a lot is given to it. And,
Yeah.
But I mean, no, I'm not aware of anyone thinking there's no major dig ups once you get them in. It's pretty simple. So that actually would be probably a good engineering question too, of which I'm sure once we get to it, Tom, is that, and he did it for us in the town. We were doing the draft.
Yeah.
Do you need a pen, sir?
I had two.
I'll give you
Where
one.
are they?
I don't know. I did not steal yours.
No.
One is.
Mine doesn't look
I do not want to.
This is yours.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. It's probably. It is a drug pen or something. I'm sure. What is it? Is that a drug company on there, Tom? I'm sure, or something.
No, Wilcare.
Okay. Yeah. It's healthcare or something. Yeah. And I do not want to speak for him, but I'm sure if we asked him, he is always willing to give some time, which is Dave Klauser, the town engineer. Since he's also a resident of our community, he is usually willing to donate some time and his expertise. So as we get further along, if we have something that we want to throw against a community member that is skilled in it, much like you had mentioned KT, I'm sure she'd be happy to look at. I don't want to speak for her, but she'd probably be happy to look at some of the stuff when we look at statistics, because that's
absolutely.
one of her deep areas of expertise. And Dan has a pen with the American flag all over it.
What can I say?
Yeah, there you go. Ariana's got a computer. There you go. Yeah. So Tom, I don't know if you have any homework you think we should be doing without
I think
without
that
Mr.
our
Lavelle.
work is oversight work, so we
Yes.
need to, we
And-
need to have the planner telling us what he's gonna do next, or what he proposes to do next, and what our response to that would be, given the information that we have. So I would say one thing that I want you to do, I want you to read relatively carefully the Pace
Yep.
University
Sure.
guide, because that is for people like us. That's for community leaders, not just for planners.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we can use that as a guide to the kind of oversight that we're going to provide.
Okay. And the point of departure one is just still a difficult one. I don't have to think about that one a lot more. And I know that was that email you sent a few days ago. And yeah.
Well, I'm
That's
concerned.
it,
I woke up in the middle of the night with that one. I said, we're thinking very conservatively about planning. We're looking backward. We're looking to preserve our views. We're looking to preserve open space. But what's going to happen if we, in fact, have the pressure of an additional 1,000 people moving in here? What's going to happen if whether it's Wilmerite or
Right.
somebody
Or college
else,
itself, or another
if there
college.
are 700 more people living down the block from
Right.
here,
Mhm.
even if the college doesn't expand a bit,
Mm-hmm.
there are going to be 700, let's say, what if?
Right.
Then if that
Right.
occurs, there are going to be 700 people living right over there. And there could be more. I think there could be more.
I think that's a real possibility.
So
Absolutely.
what?
I mean, New Paltz has only grown.
Yeah, well, it's already happening. They're putting in, 290?
They have another 200.
225
220, I can remember,
bed.
225 beds, so that will be not new students, but it will be new beds available.
And I found that that's not this fall, it'll be next
Next
fall.
fall.
Yeah.
Now-
We're talking about 10 years now.
Right, oh,
8
of
to
course.
10
And
years.
the other thing too is that, and I remember this from being on the school board, I'm sure it's the same today, most school districts in our area are shrinking. Ours is not.
Right, there were 23 new students
This year.
Yeah.
And it's been a consistent thing. It's not a huge growth and not what we saw 10 years
I believe
ago.
it was 23, it
But-
was 40.
That sounds about right. But compared to what our area school districts are doing, they are shrinking at a significantly faster rate, and we're growing. And I think that says something. Keep in mind that that encompasses more than just the New Paltz
Yeah,
School
it's not
District.
just
Still.
Naples.
Yeah.
City
Town
sprawl.
or village.
City sprawl?
Well, no. I'm saying that the
Yeah.
school district
Right.
is 7 towns, I believe.
Right, yes.
We are the main town within that
Right.
district.
No, 5, 7.
40.
We had 40? Okay.
40 new students during the 2013-2014
Wow.
school year.
Well,
Which is in, yeah, because I thought Marlboro
That's a lot
was
of
scheduled
It's,
to.
yeah, and it's 2,300.
Probably. Almost.
students.
I remember from the Ulster County School Boards Association, and granted I left in
Families moving in the
2012,
area.
every school was
Yeah.
shrinking but us.
I thought Marlboro was scheduled to be, their forecast is to be shrinking.
I'm sure. I think every school is. Just us. We're the only ones that are growing.
Huh.
well, my point is that we don't have anything that significantly focuses on growth in our
No,
objectives.
Well, that is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, within the next 5 years, you're going to gain 1,000 individuals that are going to be between the ages of 18 and 22, 23. That's, just trying to take your average college student, right? That's,
Well, if they have a full range of college students, now the age range is significantly greater than that.
but what living, the ones utilizing
Those
campus
living-
housing.
Those living on
Campus
campus are
tends
likely
to
to
be-
all be 18, 19, 20, 21, maybe.
Where Park Point,
Those living in, if Park Point is realized, those living in Park Point could very well be graduate
Mid-20s.
students or.
yeah, there's going to be graduate housing there.
Yeah.
The majority of the housing is designated for undergraduate students.
Yes.
Right.
So that would be up to, say, but many of them will be drinking age.
And our
Which is a
hope
huge impact.
would have been that many or some significant number, however many, would be faculty members,
Mhm.
Certainly a portion of that too.
a portion of them.
Right?
Which also means more students. Or
Which
Our
could
school
mean more
districts,
students in the schools.
Right, right.
But
like $22,000 per student.
Yes.
well, this is one of the factors that needs to be taken into account, and one that tends to drive towards a conservative view of planning.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
We want not to have families moving in because they're going to bring children, and children cost money.
It's one of the biggest arguments against affordable housing right now.
Yeah.
Is that?
Was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Has to do with the kids coming in with the affordable housing.
But what kind of a village is this going to be?
If we don't have new young
If we
families
don't have
moving in.
families, and by the way, one of the other
We want families.
objectives in this set is, and I think it was fairly early on, was to foster more owner-occupied homes.
And actually, just to quickly go back to that school point as well, when we're talking about long-term planning as
13 or
well,
14.
we're also factoring in that we're going to continue what is a very old taxing structure with school districts.
Yeah.
If that structure is to change, the issues that we're talking about today may not be nearly as applicable in, say, a decade.
Right.
Which is very possible that in a decade, it's an entirely different system. So just something to keep in mind as we try to look to the future as well.
So we need you in Albany to change taxing structure.
There we go.
There you go. We got that big, that's part of the plan.
Yeah, well, part of the plan could be
Yeah.
a marketing effort.
There you go. But I think the one.
Let's go with lobbying.
A lobbying effort. So the one big one too that and without Kurt it's a little difficult to do though is getting the public piece put together, which is I know all of our number one on the list is getting what our community wants besides us sitting here and working off of the plan that you worked on, Tom, back in 2010 and the draft plan that we have.
Right.
It's getting those turned into and then getting back in touch with our community. So I think that is definitely our next. That seems like our next step, right? Because I want to know what our community wants to do,
That's what the next
Yeah.
and I definitely want to get in touch with that silent majority, or minority. I apologize. So if you could look them up for me.
We'll try to talk to Steve. We'll see if we can get him.
You got it.
Yeah, Ariana, we got to get Steve Perfect to reach out to that the silent majority of New
Yeah,
Paltz.
cast a wide net.
Hundreds of them.
Yes, we need to find that silent majority and find out minority.
If any of them are at home watching,
Let me know what you need, and we will do it. Apparently, it's paying more taxes.
They know a lot more than we do. So. Oh goodness.
So Ariana has captured all of our basic ideas.
Okay.
Whenever I
My-
send out notes, by the way, if there's something that you felt like was an important topic of discussion that you want in here,
I
send
believe.
it over. I'll do it.
I believe your notes were used, am I correct or incorrect, were used as the minutes.
Yes.
So if you want to distribute them and then we do any corrections or next one, but yours are the ones being put onto the website as the minutes.
Oh,
They were put
Already?
they were put onto the incorrect place on the website. So they're being moved to
Okay.
Barclays. So just so you know, Carol is keeping them and posting them on the website.
all right. I won't
So-
be snarky.
So we will, so put on,
It's rambled on.
so remove the, and we are all dumber for it, so thank you. Dan. Well, you're welcome. So
And
yes,
we're all done. No.
if you could remove, yes, if you could do your snarky edits. I did not note any in the
I didn't know
past.
there
I didn't note any in the other ones that you provided, so apparently it did work. And then I guess our next piece is when should we convene again? But
When
again,
should we convene?
I would like to, without Kurt's input, I just want to check my phone to see he did not text me back nor call me back. No, he did not. No. So
All right, I got my calendar up.
Calendar's up.
we got both of them up.
Yep, me too.
We got all of them up.
If anyone turns in right now to public access, they're gonna think this is the most boring meeting I've ever watched in all this summer.
So they're all on their phones.
I'm at a conference next Thursday. That's that water conference down in
We have a
West
town
Texas.
board meeting too.
Yeah.
A town board meeting, okay. What I have for the day before that, the 16th, is fertilized roses.
Wait.
Is that a band? This is a great name for a band, isn't it?
It's my first time that I do it in the spring.
I have another thing actually at Village Hall at 5:45 here.
5:40.
What's that?
What date is that?
That's 16th.
What do you have? What do you have? The 16th.
I'm getting interviewed for a mayor's promotional video.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, yes, it wasn't the same thing.
No, I didn't know there was a meeting. I was such that.
At Village Hall, huh?
At Village Hall, yeah.
I didn't know there was a meeting because I said I don't have a meeting in there. Wow, okay.
Well, all right. Considering
Because I'd like to. I am with Tom's thinking
we
here.
really want Kurt
Right.
here.
Yeah,
We
you're right.
absolutely want to.
And my thinking is with Tom, which is I'd like to try to convene quicker. My Monday, Tuesday, well, if we do them in the evening, I'm good. My Monday, Tuesday are shot. My Thursday is a town board meeting. Wednesday later is kind of okay.
I could do Wednesday later.
Next Wednesday, I'm not.
Or
I'm not
Friday.
available. I
Friday.
could do Monday and Tuesday, the 21st and 22nd are both meetings, but I could do it before then. It would be Monday.
Yeah, I have meetings too, but I could do it before.
I could do Monday the 21st.
if you guys don't mind me arriving late, if you want to do a 7:30 start, or is that too late for everybody? I mean,
Well, I have
yeah.
bike ped.
I have historic preservation at
Oh, and I have to
Yeah.
do the historic preservation too. I've got 2 meetings at the same time.
Isn't that funny? That's why I wish I was Hermione. Had a time changer.
Okay, how
We're now up to
How
the
about Tuesday?
21st. Tuesday,
The
I'm
22nd.
having my eye is examined.
the 22nd?
I'm actually having an operation on the 22nd.
Oh, okay.
more LASIKs?
No,
Huh.
no, they have to scrape something out and then they have to attach something else. So,
Okay.
There you go.
well, I'm saying it's like, when you keep, as you get older, stuff, the machinery wears out. So it's not a big deal, but it's like, having a flat tire and so.
There you go.
All right.
I'm glad you're getting taken care of then.
We
Yeah.
could do the 23rd before our joint meeting.
Oh, the 24th is the joint meeting.
The 23rd I have.
Yeah.
23rd is a Wednesday.
Yeah, and we alternate between our meeting and your meeting.
Oh, okay. Have it on the okay. All right. We just had that conversation.
Yeah.
So no, the joint meeting
So this
is.
month the joint meeting
No, wait.
will
I
be
think it's
at.
on the 24th. Because isn't that when Riverkeeper's coming?
Mm-hmm. Riverkeeper's coming on the 24th. I thought, to our joint meeting.
Bum,
Yeah.
bum, bum.
Or am I incorrect? I thought
I think they put out
Riverkeeper.
the public
Well-
notice too.
Well, the
Yeah.
Riverkeeper thing is, I remember us talking about that, and that is definitely something that the town had invited them, and you wanted it to be at a joint meeting.
Yeah.
So maybe this month we'll just, the whole idea was that we
Oh
would
no, you're
alternate
right. I absolutely
locations.
get that. Yeah, that was our bad. I think that we accidentally listed it online because I downloaded it straight from our website.
Uh-huh.
So we have it listed right now on the New Paltz website that it's the 24th, 7:30.
Well, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
All right. Well,
Except
We
that
have-
we better know, because I
Except
yeah,
just
well,
that
we
we
have to
need
take
to
care of
know.
it.
have it
Yeah.
on the 23rd as usual.
all right. So that I guess is a different conversation we'll have to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because we were saying it's easy to keep them on the fourth Wednesday, fourth Thursday.
No, absolutely. That's our bad. You're right.
But if Riverkeeper's coming, I would like to be there.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I mean, and we finished our budget last night, so it's not like we have that
Right.
to look forward to on the 23rd. So we definitely still have time.
So how about the 25th, guys? Being that we're not sure we're doing the 23rd or 24th.
I could do that.
Which one again?
It's
The
gonna be
25th.
it's gonna be 2 weeks from on the Friday.
Wow, we're out that far already.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Absolutely.
So right now, everybody's okay on the 25th?
Yep.
And
The only. Yeah, well,
I mean, even if
no,
we,
the 25th, yeah, 25th I can do.
well, even if we, I mean, regardless of which day our joint meeting is,
Do you want to agree to do
either
the
we have a
opposite day?
meeting or
25th is good.
we have a meeting.
Yeah. No, 25th
You know,
let's
we
do
have
it.
a meeting on that Wednesday regardless. You have a meeting on Thursday regardless. I'm open to either day for a joint meeting. So
well, right now, we're talking about the comprehensive plan.
right. Well, I'm saying if we're meeting before our joint meeting,
Oh, okay.
either day works for me.
I think. Do we want to do the Friday?
Yeah.
But we're now talking about Friday the 25th,
Okay.
rather
I mean,
than.
I'm all right either way.
I'm good.
Well, all right.
But you're just saying that we'll cut down on a meeting day if we do that.
Right. I'm open to. I can make Friday. I'm just thinking, you know,
No, we'd have
how many
to-
days a week in the evening
Oh,
do we
okay,
go to
yeah.
meetings?
I'm okay. You guys tell me.
All right. What day do you want to meet?
All right, I'm canceling that one.
I know. I already have it.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
But, no, it's fine. I totally get what you're saying. What day do you want to meet?
I'm open. I could do Wednesday or Thursday. We could see which day Kurt is available.
24th would be good.
24th is Thursday.
It's good for me.
24th Thursday, 5:30 still?
Okay.
Saying 5:30?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And then in the event that Kurt can't come, we could always try to push it the day before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That should work.
I like that idea.
All right. So
And where are we meeting on the 24th?
Town hall.
Do you have your town calendar? Yeah.
I
Well-
do, but as I don't think you were on the email. our clerk informed me that they don't only have events that are just on the town calendar, they have other like community events, because last time we tried to put it there was some like painting thing or something, I don't know. So how about we do this, we'll make sure it's at town hall, worst case scenario, we'll just go to the community center.
Okay. There's no live wiring there.
This is live right now?
Though. Oh,
Mhm.
I don't.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. You're right, we have a big viewing audience watching this, so we wanna.
All right, so I have this down at 5:30. 5:30.
That would be smart if you do
April
not include that.
24th. Comprehensive Planning Town Hall.
I'd like that in minutes.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Well then, I think,
Motion to adjourn,
yeah,
because we'll have a meeting in another half hour.
Okay, good job.
less than that. Get dinner.
Less than that.
Less than that.
All of those in favor?
Everybody.
I.
Aye.
Opposed? I'd like
Thank you very much.
On the records to say I voted